This is the scooter they gave me for when I got to walk long distances. Nice little scooter. Got two monstrous batteries in there, so you can go about 19 miles at 5 miles an hour. And then to carry it on the truck, they gave me, it's called a Hymar 100 electric winch. And works great. Fits in the receiver. They run wires all the way from the battery and zip tie them to the frame. That was the other thing I didn't like, was them zip ties don't last forever. But the problem I had with it was you literally have a black hole back here when it's on there, and that's without the scooter. That's just the Hymar lift. I had it installed on a Tuesday. Wednesday morning, I went up to do some errands, 2 errands, and both times trying to back out of the parking spot, I damn near hit something. One was a compact car. I could not see it behind me, and the mirrors through the back window, nowhere. So that wasn't going to work. The other thing is all these new vehicles have this emergency braking stuff, and in order to back up without the brakes locking up every 3 feet, you have to manually go into the menu system and turn off the rear emergency braking, and then that doesn't turn off all the alarms. So it's a 3-step process just to be able to back up without the brakes slamming on. Same problem I had back in the trailer into here until I figured it out. And the dealer wasn't any help. They said take off the torsion bars on the lift. So I was looking for another alternative. This is a nice alternative. It's a Silver Spring ramp. Fits in the receiver. This one part here folds out, and you can literally drive the scooter up on the lift. And then I had 2 tie-down straps. Run them crisscross across the bottom of the scooter and cinch it up a little tight, and it wasn't going anywhere. It would rock the truck before the scooter would move. The problem with this thing, and this thing weighs about 90 pounds when it's all put together. 2 years ago, I wouldn't have had any trouble handling that in, but with my back all screwed up and the nerves, they call it sciatica, but it's basically the L5-S1 nerve is all pinched up, so I've been losing strength in my left leg. So that's down on the ground trying to lift it up. I could bend down, but I couldn't straighten my legs back up. So I got my neighbor to come over after I got it, because you have to assemble this thing. You have to put on the little doohickeys there and the bar up front, and anyways, we managed to lift it in there with no problem. But you still got the same issue, whether there's a scooter on it or not. The radar in the back sees it. So every time, and it takes up 2 parking spaces. So you either fold it up, which there's another issue that they, it folds right there, but all the weight's on that side. So this thing has play in it. Even though I've got the bolts on the bottom, I tighten them down as much as I could tighten them down. So this hole here is off when you go to hook it in there. So you're trying to keep it from falling down, breaking your leg, and put the pin in and wiggling this thing so, I mean, once you get it up there and get it in, it works, but it's a royal pain it's a royal pain. So anyways, I decided I needed a way to get this thing in and out of the truck, because I don't want to drive around with it on there. No, one, I can't take it through the car wash with that on there, and I pay for a subscription so I can get as many car washes as I want. And in pollen season, that's somebody's getting chased, or there's something going on somewhere. So I bought this 500-pound lift for lifting transmissions and stuff like that. It's got a foot pedal on the jack, handle to pull it around in, and it lifts up way higher than that, so it wasn't an issue. In fact, I just finished now taking it off, but it just came right out. There's a lot of extra weight on the right side there, so you got to have it offset. And then there's that 2x2 tube down at the bottom, so I cut a couple pieces of 2x2 to brace it on the other side. It's still a little rickety, but it'll work. And it came out with no problem. So I thought what I would do would be to just move all this stuff out of the way and just lean it up against the wall, because I can raise it up and lower it down without too much trouble. I just can't lift the whole thing to put it up in the thing. And they even said on the box when it delivered, required 2 people to lift it. But I think that's just a OSHA safety thing. 1 person can actually do it. I actually read on Reddit or somewhere where somebody lifted it up and put the front part of it in the receiver and then came around back and then lifted it up and slid it in. I tried that 3 times and it always kept falling down, so I finally got my neighbor to come help. But it really is a royal pain in the butt with all that stuff, and there is no way to permanently turn off that rear emergency braking. So I mean, and you've got to be able to fold it back up once you get into a parking spot. Otherwise, it sticks out in the part where people drive, and it's low enough that I'm sure somebody eventually would not see it and run into it. So anyways, that's where it's at. I think the table was $150. This thing was $250, and none of them are satisfactory for me. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is this thing comes apart in 6 pieces, and the heaviest piece is only 50 pounds. So, which is the engine, the motor back in the back. The batteries, you take them out separate. The front half comes completely off. The basket comes off. The seat comes off. So the heaviest part is that down there. And it doesn't take but just a minute or 2 to put it all back together. So I think I might just take the thing apart, throw it in the back of the truck, and then put it together when I get where I'm going. The only place I really need it right now is if I go down to the VA hospital. Sometimes you have to park way off out in the back 40, and it's a long walk. And they won't let you use the closest entrance because that's for employees only. So you have to go all the way around to the side or the front of the hospital to get in. So anyways, that's what I've been doing today. What I'm going to keep doing, I think I'm going to, in order to lean it up against the wall and not have it, I'm going to have to take that bracket off the end. That's what holds the things up in the air when you got the scooter on it. I may have to take that one off and that one off so that it lays flat on the floor. And then I'll lean it up there and put all this. I even went as far as getting one of the Harbor Freight cranes, but I spent about an hour underneath that truck trying to figure out how to reinforce it to the frame, because the bed itself is just sheet metal. You put, any kind of weight on the end of that crane, and it'll rip the bolts and stuff right out of the, even though it's got braces and all kinds of stuff underneath it. But the crane's rated for 1,000 pounds, but without being able to weld, and I don't have a welder. So, and anyways, the crane is not going to be an option. I thought about a winch up in the front, but I thought, what the heck? Why am I keep doing this when I can just take the stupid thing apart and throw it in the bed of the truck and then put it back together once lifting the 50 pounds up, I think I can do that. I could lift one end of this up, and that's 50 pounds. So anyways, that's where we're at. Y'all have a good day. Bye.